Hi everyone, I am Melanie Baldeo-Pooran and my peer is Jermaine Francis. I will be presenting first. My theme is emancipation.
So, Melanie, are there any examples of primary information sources among the sources? If so, can you please identify them?
Sure, Jermaine. Primary information, which consists of original documents and unprocessed information, is obtained directly from the original source. It can be presented orally, visually, electronically, or in any other media. Primary sources of information includes journals, letters, artwork, maps, films, newspapers, and so on. There are a few primary sources in the Nallis entry on the abolition of slavery. We can see that the Emancipation Bill, which Thomas Buxton submitted in Parliament in 1833, is a rare primary source of information. This article also had numerous photos, which are also examples of primary resources. One primary resource would have been found also in Dr. Brereton's speech as he quoted newspapers that stated, enslaved people were legally chattels who were bought and sold like any other type of property advertised for sale in the Trinidad newspapers. There were also art pieces and recordings in the YouTube video of Dr. Ronald Noel.
Also, are there any scholarly or popular information sources? If so, can you also identify them?
Sure. Millions of people were carried against their will from their homes in Africa across the Atlantic Ocean to the New World, where they were made to work on sugar plantations for the remainder of their lives. This knowledge was prevalent throughout the sources. Thomas Buxton introduced the Emancipation Bill to Parliament in 1833. On August 1, 1834, the act was passed and put into action. Numerous slaves in the British West Indies were set free on that day. On 1st August 1985, 150 years later, slavery was abolished. Trinidad and Tobago's government proclaimed that day as a national holiday in remembrance. So yes, it did have popular information. This has been prevalent throughout all the sources.
Okay. And which of these sources would you use for a research paper? Also, can you explain your choice and say why any of the other sources would not be suitable?
Yes. Finding information about a topic, conducting research, taking a stance on it, and providing support to evidence for it in an organized report are all requirements for research papers for academics and students. Numerous newspaper articles, YouTube videos, and websites that are appropriate for building a research paper are available in the Merkin's resource. Merkin's source, in contrast to the others, contains historical evidence that made it simpler to have a deeper comprehension and understanding.
And at what point of the information cycle do you think each resource appears?
The information cycle is a process that describes how information is created, processed, and processed. Resources are found in the creation stage of the information cycle where they are created or produced. And in my personal opinion, all these resources would have been in the creation stage.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And now I'm Jermaine Francis, and I will be presenting on the Banwari Man.
Jermaine, are there any examples of primary information sources among the sources? If so, can you please identify them?
Primary sources are instantaneous, first-person accounts of a subject from individuals who had a close-up relationship with it. Primary sources may consist of original text and other documents. For example, newspaper articles written by reporters who either saw the event themselves or who cite witnesses. features diaries, letters, and interviews, and words or writings of the participants are also primary sources. The YouTube video entry on the Banwari man had a primary source, which has been found one primary resource by Mr. Hamlet. As his speech stated, my grandparents, used to plant sugarcane on this piece of land, so I used to mine it. As a little boy, I used to mine animals on it. I feel very proud about it. That's why I'm here. The only way I would leave here is when I go to rest. This is history. This is history.
Okay, nice. Are there any scholarly or popular information sources? If so, please identify them.
There are scholarly and popular information sources. And this is in Trinidad and Tobago's Historical Society, as they started an excavation into a pre-ceramic site in the Banwari trees in San Francisco in 1969 of November. The significant archaeological site at the Banwari trees in southern Trinidad was highlighted in the World's Most Monuments Watch in 2004. A highly regarded publication that lists 100 top most endangered sites on the earth. The significance of this historical location to our cultural legacy and pre-Columbian history was recently discussed in a piece by Dr. Basil Reed, the director of the University of the West Indies Archaeology Center and the lecturer in archaeology at UE.
Okay, thank you. Which of the sources would you use for a research paper? Explain your choice and say why any of the others would not be suitable.
When seeking, or gathering information about a topic, I would choose books because books are easier to read than journals. YouTube videos also and internet websites are more convenient and accessible to obtain information and statistics. The American's resource has a ton of articles from YouTube videos and websites that are suitable for constructing research papers. In contrast to other sources, American's source includes historical data that made it easier to have a better understanding about the information.
Okay. At which point in the information cycle do you think each resource appears?
In the information cycle, the information cycle, in my opinion, describes how information is created and altered through time. Often it refers to the development of media coverage of a certain notable event or topic. Resources are produced or developed during the creation phase of the cycle. So, in my opinion as well, the creation phase of the cycle is basically at the beginning where it is created.
Okay,
and below are my resources of where I got the information from in doing this research. As well as I would like to thank the class and Sir for actually paying attention to our presentation. And I'm thanking you all on behalf of myself and my peer, which is Melanie Baldeo-Pooran. Thank you.